The boys are back, one of the most sought-after bands of the last 5 years, 2 years apart. We're joined by Chase on the bass and Ryan on guitar, backup vocals, whatever. They take turns. Him and Mitch, they play lead and rhythm. They take turns. And Mitch and James aren't here today, unfortunately, but James banging those drums maybe somewhere else. Who knows? How's it going, fellas?
Good, man.
How you doing?
Good. Thank you so much for joining us here. Second time you guys have been on the show. First time for Chase, though.
Yes, sir.
Welcome. We're here to talk about a brand new single. Just got released on the 7th. Drought. I love it. Whoever would like to start first, I want to know the thought process behind this song. I love the guitar in it. Love the driving force of that. And the drums sound great, too. Take me through what it was like putting that song together.
So, I don't know, just coming up with a new song and I always get inspired by listening to different songs. And sometimes I'm like, oh, that'd be cool if I maybe mashed up just take something from another band or see if I can create something unison. And so I had Goo Goo Dolls playing, and they've been a band I'm always inspired to listen to. And I was listening to Kings of Leon, and I just tuned my guitar to drop D, and then my high E, I tuned that down to D as well. And I just started playing around with the high strings, and I came up with that intro and chorus riff. And I know that one, we loved how it turned out.
I mean, a lot of the time too, especially if one of the guys has an idea, they'll just kind of bring it forward to us, and they'll say, hey, check this out, you guys think we can do something with this? And we'll play around with it for a little while, and sometimes things just start to click, and then when we get the melodies established and everything, we start working on verses and establishing choruses. And then, once we get the structure of the song kind of laid out, then it's just kind of honing in and, fine-tuning and, adding little adjustments here, cutting some fat there. But, I think the song from its infancy to now, it's just gone through so many changes.
Yeah.
When we were in studio recording it, actually, I think we cut out probably close to 30 to 40 seconds of fat.
Oh,
so we wanted to make it a little bit more, I guess you could say radio friendly. We wanted to make it a little bit more consumable.
Yeah.
Which isn't always the case. We like making music for our own reasons, but, it never hurts to trim the fat a little bit. So, yeah, I mean, it's a really, really cool experience to see where it came from to where it is now, and hearing it on the radio and seeing it on streaming platforms is just surreal.
Yeah.
So it sounds like this song, it was a lot of work, maybe longer than anticipated, because like you said, you trimmed a bunch of fat. What part was harder, the instrumental part or the lyrical part?
Maybe the lyrics, the vocals.
Yeah, and when we're in studio, sometimes we'll be recording a line, and we'll notice, okay, that word doesn't really work the way we thought that it did. Maybe it's just the way that it sounds on the microphone. We get too much of a pop or something like that, and then we have to change the word or words just to kind of make it work and make it fit.
Yeah, exactly.
But the instruments, I think for the most part were pretty straightforward. We each kind of took our turn. We laid our tracks down, and then, here and there we had to add a little bit of extra, but, that was really straightforward. But the vocals and the lyrics, that's usually where we get a little bit hung up sometimes.
Yeah.
So,
was that a group effort, or is there just one primary songwriter?
So I wrote the lyrics, and then once I kind of bring this just paper of just words on there, then Chase, Mitch, we all look at them, and we kind of come in and just trim the fat, like Chase said, and just come up with something that, I don't know, just easy to listen to and nothing too complex.
Yeah.
But that's usually kind of how we go about it. Mitch does a lot of the writing too, and just collectively we all go back and forth and just until we're happy with all the words for the songs.
So you take suggestions from everybody in the band, right? If they come up with something, Chase come up with something, a line that works, it's okay, let's use that.
Oh yeah, no one's headstrong, everyone's pretty open. No one takes anything personal if you don't like that line, and there might be a little emotion attached to it. Just that's how I write. A lot of emotion, or just I take things in and try to jot them down. But if something doesn't fit, if it doesn't sound good when Chase or Mitch are singing, then we change it up, and we're all pretty happy with how it turns out.
Yeah, and I think honestly, one of the best things that we do as a band, sometimes, especially if we're kind of stuck with a song, is we'll just kind of sit down with it for an hour, and we'll just kind of go line by line, and we'll just say, okay, what's working here? What's kind of holding us back from actually like pushing this song out? Right? And I mean, Drought's a song that we've been performing now probably for a little over a year, maybe even closer to a year and a half, I would say.
Year and a half.
And, like I said, it's just kind of evolved over the years. And then when we got into studio, that's when we started to realize, like, okay, this song's good, but it could get better, right? And then, luckily we had Derek Impens from Southbridge Recording. He was, he's a musical genius. Like that
Shout
guy
out Derek.
he just turns, songs into magic. And, like we loved working with him, and we're just excited to see where things go with more music in the future, and that's what ultimately people can look forward to, is that we're really hoping to churn out some more music over the next year or so, and more singles like Drought on the way.
Yeah. I mean, it's a great song. It sounds beautiful, not just the song itself, the way it was mixed and mastered too.
Yeah.
It's phenomenal. So very excited to play this here. If you listened into the local music hour yesterday with Marcus, shout out to him. First time we did that. He's your host every Sunday from 12 until 1. You probably heard it. If not, you're in luck. Here is 2 Years Apart with Drought on the Berg. Told you, everybody, it's a beautiful song, and it sounds beautiful too, the way it's mixed and mastered. That's 2 Years Apart with Drought on the Berg. And just informed that it's part of a 3-piece trilogy. That's right, 3-song trilogy. Let's talk a little bit about that. What was the process making a 3-song LP, I guess?
Well, I know we wanted to just get new music out, so I know originally we're like, okay, Drought's going to be the next song that we're going with. And then we had Agua that we had been playing for probably just as long as Drought, and we're like, you know what? We got enough money in the band fund. Let's still work with Derek here and Marty, and so then came up with those 2 songs, and then Mitch had wrote another song called Wash Away, and he's like, guys, like just the themes, just with our new photo shoot we had done with Cameron, just everything kind of worked out. We're like, they kind of all go together, so we wanted to do a trilogy with the 3 songs. Yeah,
I was going to say, originally it was just going to be a bit of a duology where it was just going to be Drought and Agua, like Ryan was saying, and we started to kind of realize, thematically the songs kind of fit together, with, the imagery of water and, themes of water and everything like that. And then, like Ryan had also mentioned, Mitch came up with this 3rd song, and, again, tied in with the theme of water, very similar types of, like themes and imagery associated with the song. So he had this crazy idea while we were wrapping up recording Agua, and he was like, what if we were to record this as a trilogy? And we were like, you know what? Not a bad idea, man. And so, we reached back out to Derek at Southbridge, and we were like, hey, man, how do you feel about recording a 3rd song with us? And he was like, hey, let's do it. He was on board. Yeah. Yeah. So I mean, it's been a process for sure. But I mean, now seeing everything come to fruition, and seeing the songs kind of drip out, as I guess you could say, tying in with the theme again. We had Drought coming out first, and then Agua just dropped on Friday, and then we've got Wash Away coming out soon. So to anyone listening right now, keep your eyes on our socials, keep your ears on our Spotify, Apple Music, wherever you get your music, because we got more music coming to you hot.
Absolutely.
I love the cover too. You guys are standing on water. Did anyone, that photo right there, is that a random picture of Google, the background with the water? No. Did someone actually take that somewhere here in Windsor, Essex County?
I'm glad you asked that question, because we had some questions where people were asking us, is that Photoshop? Yeah. Right? And we were like, actually, there's nothing Photoshopped about that photo. It's just, some really creative ideas on Mitch's end about, getting some stools inside the water. And
No way.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah. We were...
stools and pavers to weigh them down. Yeah. And it all, like... So the first line in Agua is we walk on water. And, like, Mitch was like, well, that could be a cool picture if we can pull it off. And... Yeah.
Big shout out to Mitch for doing a lot of scouting too for that photo shoot, because he was going out checking out these different locations and like, this spot might work, this spot might not. He was actually going out into the water like weeks in advance, like basically naked out there in the water, like testing these spots to try to find a good spot where these stools would just basically rest on the top. Guys, so it looked like we're standing on water, but nothing.
No way, that's real.
Yeah.
Oh my God. So you guys are standing on stools, just buried in the sand.
Yeah, we went out there with our pants on our shoulders, and we set up on the stools trying to get them on.
And trying not to fall in the water and keep our balance, and like just the time of the evening, and the lighting of the cars, just everything turned out great for that photo.
Yeah.
Very cool though. Did you guys get that photo taken in the fall? Is that because it looks like a fall day?
That would have been, I think, in October.
Fall day.
Yeah,
It's great. I love it. Whoever did the touching on it made it look perfect.
So that's actually, we'll shout out Cameron from
Yep.
Yuma Loft. She's just amazing to work with, and we had an amazing time out there in the photo shoot, and
a lot of fun.
Yeah, just the results I think speak for themselves. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, anybody else you want to shout out along the journey here of making Drought?
Marty Bach of SLR Studios. He's been mastering, and we've been working with him for the last 4 songs. Jacob McIntyre of South Point Studio. We're so grateful to work with him too, and he lets us rehearse in his studio.
Anybody else you'd like to talk about again along? This is because it's a great journey, right?
Well, I think aside from the people that we've already shouted out, I think I just want to do a general shout out to everyone who's been tuning in over the journey that we've had over the years. We've been through a lot as a band, and we've survived a lot, and I think the chemistry keeps us going, and it's the fans that continue showing up for shows, and people who are tuning into this interview even right now. Like, shout out to you guys, because
thank you.
You're the motivation behind what we're doing, and it's just whenever we see the feedback, whenever we see the faces in the crowd, like it just gives us that little fire in our bellies to keep us going. So
such a great feeling.
Yeah, shout out to everyone out there. So thank you guys for listening.
Thank you.
I mean, it's well deserved, right? You guys are great. I love seeing you guys play. Last time it was I don't know if it was a month or 2 ago. Whenever you played at Shooters last, right? You guys have a great.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, you guys have a great following, right? Like, people love you. Local band, Amherstburg, making noise all over. You've had songs played on, I believe it was 89X or another station, whatever.
It was the River.
The River,
yeah.
The old 93.9.
Yes,
All right,
sir.
yeah. See, like, you guys, well known. You guys have a great following. People love seeing you play. You have a great mix, your own original stuff and the stuff that you cover. So, yeah,
I appreciate that, man.
People love it, man. It's great. I love watching you guys play. And speaking of that, are we going to be lucky enough to see you guys soon here in Amherstburg or somewhere in Windsor, Essex County?
Next time we're in Amherstburg, we might be working on a show potentially at the Legion here. So that one might come to fruition there, March 22nd. And if you follow us on our socials, you'll see that show's confirmed. But we're playing at the Vic, March 21st. And then again in the fall, and then Shooters September 13th and December 13th. So.
Yeah, and for anyone who's looking to kind of keep up with what we're doing, the easiest way is just to follow us on our social media platforms. We always keep our shows on there, and if as soon as we figure out what's going on our end, we'll put it on the socials so that you guys know.
Yeah.
Beautiful, beautiful. Well, guys, thank you so much for joining me today here on the Berg. Looking forward to Wash Away. When do you have an idea when that's coming out?
Hopefully within
next few weeks.
Yeah,
next few
hopefully
weeks.
soon.
Yeah.
I mean, we don't have a definitive date as of right now, but it's in the pipeline. We're in the finishing stages now, so hopefully, sooner rather than later, that third song of the trilogy will kind of tie a bow on things, and hopefully you guys like that one too.
Oh, I'm sure they will. It cement the trilogy, and you said it best. Follow your socials, right? All the updates. That's where you're gonna get them first.
Absolutely.
Ryan, Chase, thank you so much for joining me today here.
Thank you.
on
Thanks,
the Berg.
Spencer.
Cheers.
Cheers.